Hey guys, what's up? It's Cowboy Crunk coming to you from Kabul, Afghanistan, the war zone, the war room. Here, bringing you up to date information, scenarios on the season, and so forth, scenarios on players. Preseason right now, we're looking into that. You guys know we got first game coming up on the 9th of August. I'll be leaving here, I think before that or after. I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to watch that game here or head out. Tomorrow, you guys will notice that I'm headed to the airport in Kabul. So I'll be relocating from our fuel terminal here to another location. I have like 5 airports I'm in charge of, like 6 fuel depot military bases, and also a depot here. So never told you guys what I do. I'm not actually in the military, but I'm the vice president for a fuel company and terminal manager. So I move around the country. I'm in Dubai a lot, Istanbul, Incirlik Air Base, Turkey. We're working on some things there. But anyways, let me get to the football things. I just was giving you guys an update since I've never told you where I'm from or what I do here in Kabul. The purpose of today's video, I wanted to go over our schedule at the end. First, I wanted to go over our defense and kind of lay out how we ran our roster last year, how many positions we carried, how many players we carried at each position. I just wanted to go over the defense mainly. Let's see. I'll go ahead and go over the whole roster actually real quick. We carried 2 quarterbacks. We carried 4 running backs, 1 fullback, 6 wide receivers, 4 tight ends, 8 offensive linemen. We carried, now we're going with the defense, 5 defensive ends, 3 defensive tackles, 7 linebackers, 6 corners, and 4 safeties is what we carried, and then our 3 special team players. So what I wanted to do is go over the defense today real quick, and then go over the schedule we got here and kind of do a prediction of what I think we'll finish the season at. I know that this schedule really depends on injuries and stuff, so really there's no way of guessing this at this point, but it is just something kind of fun to do. It's kind of like doing a mock draft, which you guys know mock drafts don't really work out the way you want them to either. But I did want to touch on my last video. I said some things at the end of the video that I want to rephrase and restate, and mainly because I don't know if you guys watched all the way to the end of the video, but I really feel comfortable with our secondary, especially those last 5 games. The last 5 games of the season, we gave up 12 points. We went 4-1. Sean Lee was there the last 4 games. He did miss the week 13 game, but week 14 through 17 we won. We lost 1, which was to Seattle. We actually played very well on defense there. That was one of our better defensive games. We gave up 21 points, but we held them really low on yards. At halftime, they only had 53 yards. The problem on that game was that we lost. We would have finished the season. The last 5 games we'd have ran the table, except ran the table, man. I shouldn't use Packer terms, Green Bay Packer terms. What's his name? Aaron Rodgers. Talking about run the table. I shouldn't have used that. Let me use another term. We clear the table. I don't know. But anyways, we should have won those last 5 games. We did win 4 of them. The Seattle game we lost, but we actually did really good on defense. If you guys recall, Dak had a pick 6 in the flats that went back for a touchdown. He overthrew Ezekiel Elliott, and then also earlier in the game, Des Bryant, which is really when the game turned around. We had Seattle at 0 points. Des Bryant had a fumble inside our 20, which gave them the ball in the red zone. So that game, we really gave up 7 points. Other than those 2 plays, and plays are plays, that counts. So we gave up 21, but our defense really gave up 7 points in that game. So our defense played really well the last 5 games, and it was because of those starters we had in there. Those starters, Byron Jones, Chidobe Awuzie, Jordan Lewis, Xavier Woods, Kayvon Frazier was in there quite a bit, and Jeff Heath. Those guys played good together. I think Jeff Heath was kind of their leader in the secondary with the time he has on the field, and Byron Jones, excuse me, I forgot Byron Jones, really important part there. And I think with the moves and Richard taking over the defense as a defensive secondary, I think, man, we have a really good chance of holding those last 5 games true to this season and start the season off that way. And if we start with those guys in the secondary, we'll be good. But let me go over the defensive players real quick. Like I said, we kept last year. We kept 8 defensive linemen, and I think we might have to bump that up. We went with 8 defensive linemen and 7 linebackers, which is 15, and then 15 players total, and then we had 10 defensive backs we kept, which puts us at 25. Looking at the list, we only have 7 linebackers on the roster that I saw right now, and it looks like we're really heavy on D-line. And, a lot of our players are flex guys like Crawford. I know they wanted to move him to defensive end. Also, like Darius Armstrong. He's a smaller, quicker guy. And Coney Ely, I think these guys are going to make the team, and I think the reason they're going to make the team is we're really kind of short on linebacker, but these guys can Darius Armstrong especially could at least be somewhat of a linebacker type rusher, still playing on the D line, but when we use that package, maybe because we're really short at linebacker when I looked over the roster. But anyways, what we're looking at is DeMarcus Lawrence, Irving when he returns, and in place of that, you got Jihad Ward, which I think he'll definitely make the team. It's a solid spot for him. Tyrone Crawford and Randy Gregory and Malik Collins. Those 5 guys I think are your starters week to week. It may change, and then with Irving not being there, those are your starters. You got Taco Charlton that will come in for DeMarcus Lawrence. And Richard Ash possibly if he shows out a little bit, and he's had the tendency to play well at times. I think he could back up David Irving. You got Darius Jones also. He's someone we're expecting to hopefully be able to play well and help us pick up that sack rush. So those are the guys I think we look at carrying. I think we're carrying 9, I think, instead of the 8 that we carried last year. And like I said, the reason I think we're going to do that is because we're a little short on linebacker, but we do have a few of these defensive ends, defensive linemen that are on the smaller side. So on linebackers, it's a lock. We got Sean Lee, Leighton Vander Esch, Jalen Smith, and Chris Covington, and Joe Thomas. And that's another reason this linebacker crew, I think we run a little deep on them. Normally, we're short right now, but those guys are always filling in for special teams. So some of these guys like Darius Armstrong, Coney Ely, some of these guys may end up playing quite a bit of special teams, especially if we have another situation. Last year, like I said, we carried 2 quarterbacks. Now we got 3 on the roster that the coaching staff really are looking at. I don't see them putting one of those 2 quarterbacks on the practice squad because both of those quarterbacks, either one of them would get picked up. So we're going to run Dak Prescott as a starter. Who's going to be the backup or second string? I don't know. And then the third string, as you guys know, I had a scenario on that earlier where possibly we trade one of those guys. If they ball out in the preseason, which we expect them to, we've got a really quarterback-friendly offense. If one of those quarterbacks really plays well, maybe we use them as trade material. Seattle's hurting for quarterbacks, just to say. But like I said, I think our secondary is solid. Whether we get the Earl Thomas move or not, I think we're solid in the secondary. So that leaves Trayvon Johnson and Justin March Lillard as the other two linebackers, and that rounds it out with 7. So maybe one of those two guys goes to the practice squad, and we carry 6 so that we can carry 9 linemen, because I think we're stronger at linemen. And on the D line, I think those players are a better group than the linebacker group. As far as the secondary, we got Byron Jones playing corner. We got Chidobe Awuzie playing corner. Jordan Lewis playing in the slot. Xavier Woods and Jeff Heath and Kayvon Frazier playing safety. I think those guys are all definite locks. Also, you got Duke Thomas, who's really well on special teams, and Marquez White, which I think he'll be a really good special teams player as long as we don't have any issues with this suspension thing he's got. A couple more players that they're really high on. Cam Kelly, you guys know they're hot on him. We've heard his name a few times, especially from Keith Richard, the defensive secondary coordinator. And there's a guy we don't hear much about. I'm really excited to look at this guy. I didn't realize how big he was, man. Eric Pinkins. Eric Pinkins is 6'3", 220, and he's listed as a safety from Arizona State. Don't know much about him. I guess we'll find out in a week, because I'm sure he's going to, with his size, he's going to get some playing time. And with us short at safety, especially if this Earl Thomas thing doesn't happen, this could be one of the guys that they plug in, see if he works. And if he works, why do the Earl Thomas thing? Wait for next year. See how these guys play out. And like I said, I did say in my other video, Earl Thomas is a guy that, I know everybody's tired of talking about it, but please just listen to this part out. Earl Thomas is a guy that there'll be 2 or 3 plays in a game that when the game is over, you can literally say, if we would have had Earl Thomas, that play and that play wouldn't have happened. The safety would have taken Earl Thomas would have taken a better angle and knocked him out at the 25. Instead, whoever safety we had back there took a bad angle, and the guy scores a touchdown, and takes it to the house. So these are some of the things I just wanted to go over. I think our secondary is good. I think our defensive line is, man, I think we are solid there. Linebacker, I think we're solid, but if we have an injury, I don't think we're deep enough. Deep, strong. I think we're deep, but we're not strong on those deep positions. We'll find out with Covington. And then the secondary, I think we're straight, man. I think we're good. I think if we stay healthy, it's always about staying healthy, guys. You know that. So I'll go over the schedule real quick. I want to show you what I have us at. And like I said, it depends on injuries. But I think the first game, you guys don't shoot me, I think the first game's going to be tough. I think I'm giving us a loss at Carolina just because I hope that pisses us off. If we lose the first game, I know Carolina's going to be tough. They're up and down. I think they're going to be back this season. That to me, that's a loss for Carolina. I have us a win in New York, a win in Seattle. I think neither one of those teams are strong enough to take care of us. Seattle's in a rebuilding scheme, especially on their defense. And last year, their defense was fairly decent, and their offense was horrible. So I think they're on the downtrend. Detroit, I think we're too strong for them as well. The next 2 games, Texas and the Jaguars, I think we're going to lose one of those. I don't know which one, but it's 2 tough games. I think maybe we beat the Texans and lose to the Jags, but I think it's one of those 2 I think we're going to lose. I have us winning the next 2. So halfway through the season, we are 2-8, which isn't bad. I'll take that any day. I have us on the Philly games. I have us splitting those. I think we will beat Philly in Philly, and I think we'll lose the game here in Jerry World. That's just the way we play. You guys know we play better away. They say Jerry World, there's too much going on. The big screen, the fans don't get into it. They just hang out, watch the cheerleaders, watch the big screen, eat the food, have the drinks, and kind of watch the Cowboys. And there's no motivation there. So I think that's why we don't play well at home. So I have us winning this one, losing this one. Atlanta, I have us winning that one as well. And the Redskins game, I have us sweeping them for the season, and I have us losing here with the Saints. Actually, these two games I think are either or. I think they're both 50-50, so I think we'll win one of those and lose one of those. And then, as I said, we will lose here at Philly, and we'll win the last three games out. So I have us going 12-4. Of course, that'll get us into the playoffs. It should win us the division, unless Philly just cleans up. I think that's our competition. So that's what I had for today's video, guys. Like I said, I think we're solid without Earl Thomas. I know that's a big concern. Our secondary really did well at the end of the season. We only gave up 12 points, and Sean Lee was there. That was a part of it. But Sean Lee was there for a lot of games in the beginning of the season before we put that secondary together, and we still gave up a lot of points. If you guys want to check the video I did yesterday, that kind of breaks that Sean Lee, the importance of Sean Lee being there. But it does show some games we still gave up a lot of points with Sean Lee there. The thing was, when we got that secondary together, that's when we shut down the red zone. We gave up running, a lot of running, a lot of rushing yards when Sean Lee was gone. But when that secondary was there with Sean Lee, guys, secondary and Sean Lee, we averaged 12 points a game for the last 5 games. And if you take that Seattle game, we had 2 horrible plays that gave them 14 points. Really, you could reduce that fairly easy. But I appreciate you guys' time. Like I said, I'll be moving over to the airport tomorrow. I'll try to get a video in, but I'm going to be really busy. I got to move all my furniture over there. I'll be there for a couple months. And I really appreciate the time, guys. We got a week till Oxnard. We got 2 weeks till our first game. We got a week till the Pro Bowl, the Hall of Fame game. Excuse me, guys, the Hall of Fame game. Can't wait to see that. It's football. I'm ready, guys. I'm going to watch every game out there, and I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow if I can get a video in. If not, take care. The next one will be on the offense. I'll break the offense down the same way, show the positions, how many we expect to keep, how many we kept last year, and who I think will make the team, who will make the cut at this point. And see you guys in preseason. Take care. Love our Cowboys. Salute.